Macau just arrested a big gambling operator. Is China cracking down on casinos? Or is this a case of general hostility? Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Macau, it's a former Portuguese colony that's currently ruled by the Chinese Communist Party under the one country, two systems policy, the same one they used to rule Hong Kong. But while the Chinese regime sees Hong Kong as a rebellious kid that needs to be disciplined, Macau has always been the good, obedient kid. The good, obedient kid with a little bit of a gambling problem. Macau is the only place in China where gambling is legal. And over the last 15 years, it's become the biggest gambling center in the world. On the surface, Macau may look a lot like Las Vegas, but it's actually a lot more like New Jersey. Last week, Macau arrested 11 people for illegal gambling and money laundering. One of them was this guy, Alvin Chau. Chau was the founder and CEO of Sun City Group. His main business was operating gambling junkets in Macau. In fact, Alvin Chow operated so many junkets that he was known as the Junket King. Not to be confused with my neighbor, Lenny Russo, the Junket King. What's a gambling junket, you ask? It's a great way for rich Chinese people to get their money out of China. They need that money to buy expensive real estate in Vancouver, send their kid to Harvard with a Lamborghini, and most important, set up their Swiss bank accounts before the Chinese Communist Party collapses. The problem is, you're not legally allowed to take more than $50,000 out of China a year. And Macau junket operators like Sun City are the solution. How does it work? Take it away, 2017 Chris.
So let's say you're one of these VIP clients, a Chinese millionaire who got your money from, totally legitimate sources, completely unrelated to corruption. So there's a casino, and it hires the junket on commission. The junket hires an agent inside mainland China. That agent finds you and sells you a VIP package for 1 million yuan. That VIP package might include transportation, a free luxury hotel room, plus 1 million yuan worth of free casino chips that just happen to be included as a bonus. This way, you're technically paying for the package, not the chips. That makes it legal. But there's a catch. Those casino chips cannot be exchanged for cash. They're called non-negotiable chips, or rolling chips. You actually have to travel to the casino in Macau and gamble all of them. But any chips you win back, well, those will be negotiable chips, which you can exchange for cash. So once you've spent enough time gambling that you've wagered all your non-negotiable chips, and hopefully won back most of them or more in negotiable chips, you can go cash them in for any currency you want, like US dollars, and then do whatever you please with that money. You won that money fair and square, outside mainland China. No more $50,000 transfer limits.
Thanks for the explanation, Mi. So the Chinese VIPs get their money out of the country, the junket operators make a nice commission, and the casinos get whatever money the Chinese VIPs lose while gambling. It's win-win-win mutual cooperation. And it's quite lucrative. Alvin Chow, the Junket King, is worth billions of dollars, at least before he was arrested. And his company, Sun City Group, handled nearly half of the VIP market in Macau. It was also expanding into other parts of Asia, like Cambodia, and even Japan. So why did it all come crashing down now? I'll tell you after the break. Welcome back. Macau Junket King Alvin Chow seemed to have it all. Money, power, the ability to dress like a Hong Kong film villain without people laughing at you. 2 kids with his beautiful wife. 4 kids with his beautiful mistress. So how did he end up awaiting trial behind bars? Well, Chow does have a shady background. It's pretty much an open secret that he's involved with the 14K Triad, one of the largest Chinese criminal organizations in the world. During his climb to the top, Chow reportedly became a disciple of Macau triad boss Wan Kwok Koi, aka Broken Tooth Koi, in 1995. Okay, if you end up following a guy named Broken Tooth Koi, chances are you're gonna end up in prison someday. Broken Tooth Koi is one of the leaders of the 14K triad. He was actually sanctioned by the Trump administration back in 2020. According to the U.S. Treasury Department, in addition to being a triad leader, Broken Tooth is a member of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. The CPPCC is an official political body in China, but it's also part of the Communist Party's United Front system. United Front work involves influencing people outside China to support the Chinese Communist Party. So it's no surprise that Broken Tooth Koi built organizations to co-opt elite figures in Malaysia and Cambodia, and was disguising his illegal criminal activities as part of China's Belt and Road Initiative. Sounds like a swell guy. Alvin Chow, like his mentor Broken Tooth, is a member of the CPPCC. I'll get back to that in a minute. Chow was arrested in Macau not for his junket business, but for establishing an overseas betting platform and facilitating illegal online betting. According to the Macau police, he's confessed. I mean, what was the guy going to do? It was COVID. Everyone was doing everything on Zoom. But there are signs Chinese authorities also considered Chow's junket business a problem. A day before his arrest in Macau, police in the mainland Chinese city of Wenzhou issued a warrant for his arrest. They accused Chow of forming a junket agent network in the mainland to help citizens engage in offshore and cross-border gambling activities, and that he also set up an asset management company in mainland China to help gamblers make cross-border fund transfers. That is, he was helping people move their money out of China. A big no-no, even though, of course, it's long been an open secret that that's exactly what junkets are for. Now, Macau police claim their investigation has nothing to do with the Wenzhou authorities. But it's mighty convenient that they just happened to decide to arrest Chow right after Wenzhou issued an arrest warrant for him, especially since the Wenzhou police had no way of arresting Chow themselves, because there's no extradition treaty between Macau and China, which is good news for Alvin Chow, because at least he's in a Macau prison and not a mainland Chinese prison. Because of the mentions of cross-border gambling, some are taking Chow's arrest as a sign of a broader Beijing crackdown on gambling. That's definitely part of it. Chinese authorities have been targeting cross-border gambling since 2020. Chinese leader Xi Jinping is not a fan. He's criticized cross-border gambling several times. Chinese media have also said Chow's arrest is due to national security concerns. Those national security concerns are actually about rich people taking huge sums of money out of China. The Chinese Communist Party needs cash, and they don't need Chinese people sending their cash overseas, especially as the Chinese economy gets worse. But Alvin Chow's arrest isn't just about a gambling crackdown or stopping capital flight. It's also about political infighting in the Chinese Communist Party. I'll explain why after the break. Welcome back. It's time for everyone's favorite communist soap opera, General Hostility. Previously on General Hostility, current Chinese leader Xi Jinping is bringing his poker face to the final showdown with former Chinese leader Jiang Zemin. Will Jiang and his faction stop Xi from winning the ultimate jackpot? Or does Xi have a card trick up his sleeve? Macau junket king Alvin Chow isn't just a businessman and a triad member. He's also a political operative. Like I said earlier, Chow is a member of the CPPCC, a United Front organization, which means he's involved in United Front influence operations. United Front operations have a long history in Macau. Although the Chinese Communist Party only officially took over the territory in 1999, they controlled Macau way before that. It started with the 12-3 incident on December 3, 1966,
when mainland Maoists instigated anti-government riots in Macau as part of the Cultural Revolution. For the next 33 years prior to the handover, Macau was unofficially administered through business leaders and trade unions responsive to Beijing's interests. In other words, Macau was basically unofficially ruled by the Communist Party through business leaders and trade unions, aka the United Front. As a member of the United Front, Alvin Chau's business interest also supported the Chinese Communist Party's interests. His Sun City group didn't just do gambling. It was also involved in tourism, real estate, and entertainment. Chau told People's Daily that he had collaborated on the production of patriotic blockbusters such as Operation Red Sea and Operation Mekong. Even Chau's business expansion into Japan was in Okinawa, an island chain with a U.S. military base that the Chinese Communist Party has been trying to infiltrate for years. When Chau started succeeding in Macau in the early 2000s, Jiang Zemin was in power, and his faction has maintained influence in both Hong Kong and Macau. There are reports that Chau was a bagman for Jiang's faction. A prominent Chinese dissident said his party insider friends in the Macau system revealed that Chau is a white glove or bagman and a Macau asset of top party leaders. Those include Zheng Qinghong, a member of the Politburo Standing Committee and Jiang's number 2 man, and also Meng Jianzhu, the former Minister of Public Security and also a member of Jiang's faction. If these reports are true, Chau's arrest could be part of the power struggle between Xi Jinping and Jiang Zemin. Remember, Chau controlled nearly half of the junket business in Macau. He knows exactly who gambled their money out of China. If he had close ties with Jiang's people, and he starts naming names, that could be very bad for Jiang, very good for Xi. The investigation of Chau could furnish the Xi leadership with incriminating evidence to wield against the Jiang faction and other party elite who oppose Xi Jinping. I wonder what the next episode of General Hostility will bring. Alvin Chau, the junket king, could be the ace in Xi Jinping's sleeve. But will this jailbird sing? Or will Jiang Zemin find a way to silence him instead? Find out next time on General Hostility. What a show. And now it's time for me to answer a question from a fan who supports China Uncensored on Patreon or Locals. Nick RH21 asks on Locals, why are the governments of these countries seeking deals with China and not with the West? Is it the no strings attached, help yourself to a bit of backhander appeal, or is it a genuine feeling that the West's terms are too onerous? Obviously, the Chinese are offering something better than the West because they are more successful. So what's the reason for that? Nick is referring to our episode on whether China is taking over an airport in Uganda. Well, Nick, there are several reasons countries would rather take Chinese money. A big one is, just like you mentioned, Chinese loans are no strings attached. Well, there are actually a lot of strings attached, but not the same ones you get from the West. Western money often comes with strings like improving democracy in your country. And if you've been the president of Uganda for 35 years, you think democracy in your country is doing just fine, and you don't want to change a thing. So on one side, you've got Western governments criticizing your human rights issues, and on the other side, you've got Xi Jinping shaking your hand and giving you money. Which choice are you going to make? Of course, it's not just authoritarian countries that take China's money. In other cases, China might be the only country really offering you a loan to build infrastructure. The Chinese Communist Party has an advantage. They have a bunch of state-owned banks that will make these loans, and state-owned companies that will go into these countries and do the work. But China's Belt and Road Initiative has made Western countries, like the US, realize the danger of just sitting back and letting China colonize the world economically. So they're starting to make a bigger push to invest in Africa, for example. But they're a long way from catching up to China. Thanks for your question, Nick. And thanks for joining us as a member of our community on Locals. We rely mainly on viewer support to keep the show going. So if you like what we do, be like Nick and join us on Locals, with the crowdfunding website Patreon. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching China Uncensored.